So I went on a bit of a field trip with some friends of mine, sort of related to both Hoksong Weaving and the nonprofit that I helped start, the Mill River Marginalized Artists Collective. Penelope is deeply upset with me because I came back very excited with heightened happy adrenaline and a lot of caffeine in my system. So she's going to be popping in and out, very annoyed because she is my POTS barometer of a cat. But I've got my bag of goodies with me. All of this was under $70. I'm so incredibly excited. First, some footage of the actual location. I would have to be very careful with how I filmed because I did not want to catch one particular friend in frame because not great X situation. So I'm being careful with like who I get taken images with and who I take images of. Also, just in general, don't film people without their consent. The fact that that's still a conversation that we're having in 2025 is bizarre to me. But please enjoy some footage of this location. This is Swanson's stash house in Turners Falls, Massachusetts. I apologize in advance to your wallets. They do offer shipping, and you can order quite a bit of their stuff online. But basically their entire gist is everything is donated. It is all vintage, upcycled, like just rescuing fabric and getting it back out into the community because it's a lot of it's older fabric. It's the actually good stuff that still has like fiber thread count and isn't just super thin, like tissue thin muslin that is being produced currently today. So it will actually make clothing and goods that will last. But Swanson Stash House in Turners Falls, really excited for Mermac because we are absolutely going to be doing some work with these folks as soon as we possibly can. Again, I've had medium iced coffee, which is a lot of caffeine for me, and I'm also just riding high, so there's going to be a lot of bounce, there's going to be a lot of excitement, there's going to be a lot of happy stimming, which y'all seem to enjoy anyways, and there's going to be a lot of rambling and side tangents because my brain is just doing that today. But I wanted to share this joy with you, and please enjoy the footage on location. Yeah.
My name is Took. I'm a disabled genderqueer weaver who's had life take odd turns, but who knows that even tattered and worn yarn still has value, and that tired joints and health flares don't have to stop the journey. I weave exclusively with secondhand fibers, aided with adaptive warping, HR and OSHA cats, and a wonderful found family. Welcome to Hoksong Weaving, where all our paths are a little bit warped.
I'm back. That was like 0.5 seconds because I'm going to edit this in post. But I've got my bag of goodies here. This entire bag was less than $70. I did not choose to take a receipt because I don't need one for that. But I'm so incredibly excited. I went in there with a budget of $200 and there was not enough room in the car for me, my stuff, and everyone else and their stuff. So I limited my purchases, but I will be back. And they offered to send a bag, because like we'll have like an overflow section that I showed, and like the donation room, and everything gets organized from there. But sometimes they have so much backlog that they've got like giant trash bags full of donations. And they're like, if you want to come, go through that bag, take what you want, like take that bag home, go through that bag, take what you want, and then return what's left neatly organized. You can have that bag for free. And I'm like, well, originally they were like, you can just have that bag for free. And I'm like, no, I've spent so long clawing my way to my work and my labor has value. Your work and your labor has value. I will not feel right, not paying for this in some way. They were like, you will pay by returning what you don't need / don't want in neatly organized boxes, so we don't have to do that labor. And I'm like, fair, absolutely. So we're going to be scheduling, like reaching out and scheduling like a caravan of folks from further south in Massachusetts who may not have access to Swanson's because it's a bit further north, and a bit like more out of the way. So it's just, But also, if you're going to Swanson's, in Turner's Falls, you also need to go to Montague, to the Book Mill. It is a phenomenal location. Books you don't need at a place you can't find. You can find it now much more easily due to GPS. So, love that. But yeah, first off, some weaving things. Also, it's like a giant thrift store full of crafting materials. And there's so much, and it's everywhere. And it's like a treasure hunt, and it's delightful and wonderful and phenomenal, and I love it. So I got these shuttles. These are much longer than I'm used to, so that will take some adjusting for my muscle memory. But these are absolutely gorgeous. That's, one sec, we do the thumbnail test. Yep, that's hardwood. I'm based on the look, maple would be my best bet. Maple makes really good work for like, oh gosh, long grain too. Oh, it's got the wear patterns. It's got the chips. Oh, this was used. This was capital U used by a. These were capital U used by a weaver. Oh, so excited. And then I did not initially spot these. My friend spotted these, and then was like, "Hey, Tuck, these look like the stuff that's on your loom. Is this the stuff that's on your loom? This is a heddle, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, these are rigid heddles. This is the rigid heddle that I currently use. I've got it all marked up for my various width projects, but I got these. I got this one, very pretty blue, adjustable for adjustable width, and it's got that inside, and you screw the dowels in so you can figure out what adjustments. Does it have the gauge on it? Of course you don't. But you're still very, very pretty, and this is a much thinner gauge than I have currently available on my loom, so this is phenomenal. I got that one in that blue. And then I've got another one, slightly wider gauge, in this dark blue. Very, very excited about these. The rattling is going to drive me a little nuts. I'm probably going to end up gluing these into place around the dowel so that they do not rattle, which will make that not be able to, be reused. But, these are mine now. These are mine. So I get to do what I want to them. And I don't need to feel guilty about it, brain. So there's that one. And then another one in navy. I could do multiple. I could figure things out and adjust this as needed. Oh, I'm having thoughts. I'm having ideas. I've got that glint in my eye. Oh, there's going to be experimentation later. Yes! Love it. And then I think, is this just a replacement of the same one? Is this the same thing? Not quite. But it's very, very similar. Very similar. This is mine. This is another one that I bought. Oh, that's going to be so good. I'm so excited. I just went high pitched. Penelope, you're so mad and your anger is valid. Please do not. No eating that. No. Hey, baby girl, you can't fit up there. Thank you. No, thank you. All right. None of that. All right. And then, so my friend's last name ends in an E, and they're going to be having vow renewals fairly soon. So I grabbed this. It's unfinished, but it's stamped, so I'll be able to just use what I have in my embroidery floss stash and get them something nice, and make them something nice. They actually were the first ones to find this, and I was like, hey, actually, no, wait, I was the first one to find this. It was like, hey, do we know anyone whose name, like, starts with E? And they're like, our last name starts with E. And I'm like, cool, you didn't see this. Forget about it, it doesn't exist. And they're like, that is safe with my ADHD. And I'm like, excellent, phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Very excited about that project. And then I got this pre-packed bag, and this one did have a price at $14. Like, all of this absolutely gorgeous blue-toned yarn for $14 is just great. I'm so excited. Yes, it's so pretty. It's so shiny. It's so sparkly. This will, like, the sort of art yarn in this will get added to another, like, strand of, like, one solid color yarn, and these make great bags. They make very sparkly, shiny. Yes, 100%. I'll process that later. Some things got a bit mixed up. They also have cones. They've got cones of weaving yarn, and weaving fibers in general. It's $10 per pound. So I grabbed this, and this is wool. It's rough spun. It's this gorgeous sort of like mottled brown. It's still got some of like the twigs and bits and stuff and like that, and that's probably going to get, again, added. I would not use this as a warp, because if it has thin patches, you don't want to use one, like just one strand, for a warp, because if it has thin patches, you're gonna, you know, be screwed. But this is great for a weft. Especially in addition to some other fibers. I recently did some videos where I was like layering different strands of very thin weft together, and sort of like getting a mottled ombre effect in a scarf. So this is going to be absolutely perfect for that. I'm going to ball this separately. I'm going to ball hard, yay! Ball this separately, just because I don't like trying to wind a weft onto a shuttle and then be like, oh god, there's a knot. So I prefer to get that out of the way. This is like pre-balling yarn is also great to do in the evenings, like when you're watching TV or like listening to an audiobook or just like watching a documentary or something like that. It's phenomenal. Would people be interested in documentary recommendations? I have a lot of documentary recommendations. So if you'd be interested in documentary recommendations, let me know. My special interests are animal biology, evolutionary psychology, human evolution, etc. Ancient history, prehistory, paleontology. Happy to give recommendations for that, depending on what you're interested in, what you're looking for. But hello, Bellith. Yes, I know you're... My partner this cat is also very, very annoyed that I brought home a bomb, because she is a reincarnated, heavily trained military German Shepherd, is our theory for why she is the way that she is, but she's incredibly protective and she's the body of a kitten and she's mad about it. If you're familiar with the Pixie and Brutus comics, thinks that, but she is Brutus in the body of Pixie and annoyed about it. I got some just general yarn. I love grabbing black acrylic whenever I can because it's a really good warp that like will accentuate and like showcase fun art yarn really, really well. Some more gray. I'm gonna need to ball this, but this is phenomenal. This is homespun by Lion Brand. I'm able to recognize it even without the tags just because I've worked with it so much. It's one of my absolute favorite yarn types in the entire world. It is acrylic, but it does felt like wool. If you're looking for like cheap if you're like in a needle felting craze and you're looking for something cheap to felt with and you don't have access to a lot of wool, Lion Brand homespun can be like unraveled and felted with. Mixed, it's not going to be as good as wool, but it'll be equivalent enough. More of that gray. More gray. Heck yes. Ah! Desist! How did you manage to get that tangled? You were just in one bag. You haven't been moving. Hang on, get over here. Here we go. Ah! Son of a fish. And that was Son of a Fish. I said Son of a Fish because when I'm doing fabric things, I flash back to the very Irish Catholic woman who taught me sewing. And if you swore in her classroom, you either owed her $5 or immediately got detention. So I say Son of a Fish or shiitake mushrooms when working with fibers because it's just been trained into me at that point. And high school was a while ago. Baby girl, honey, please ship. Thank you. And then I got some cool straps for my bags because I'm constantly trying to figure out what I should do for straps for my bags. And it's been driving me a little nuts, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, this is gonna be phenomenal. This is perfect. Great. Nice brass. Like, I didn't get the receipt, so I don't know exactly what this cost, but like this would be easily 15 plus new US dollars, just for the brass hardware alone. And I guarantee you that I only paid like a couple bucks for that. And then another strap. Again, it's already got the hardware on it. It's delightful, wonderful. Is this hand woven? I don't know. This is, oh, that's sewn. I don't know. That could have been hand woven. For someone who has a much different loom than I do, but like, still, great. Phenomenal, 100%. Another one. Sorry for the crinkly. Ah, yes. Over here. I got 2 small things of art yarn, of just beautiful mohair. These were $1 each. These were one of the few things that had like labels, like written things on them. So I got one in blue and one in red. And those are going to be great like for like felting pieces and stuff like that. And then I also just got so much thread. Because thread has gotten stupidly expensive these days. Like stupidly expensive. Like it's cotton thread. Why are you charging $5 for that thing, for that normal size of cotton thread? And if you need to buy the $5 one, because the 99-cent ones suck. They're constantly breaking. I hate understanding planned obsolescence. I really do. It's part of why I'm so glad that places like Swanson's exist, because there's so much fabric that has already been produced that goes into landfills and things like that. I've given this lecture on yarn before. It's like, no, I'm not going to go buy acrylic brand new and encourage acrylic production, but I might as well use the acrylic that has already been produced and prevent it from going into a landfill. So much thread, so much thread. Another thing of thread. And then they had, I'm just gonna, Alright, that's empty now. Then another little thing of black thread. And then they were having a deal where this one shelf of green bins was fill a bag for $5. So I got so much satin binding because I'm hoping to start doing more blankets, more large projects like that, and I need binding for that. I did not realize that this pink binding was, you know, Minnie Mouse, which is not great, but so I might donate this back. But I got so much binding. I got, oh, I need to return that to them. Grabbed draw strength for a friend. There goes that. Some more snap fasteners. With an attaching tool. The attaching tool seems to have been busted out of this at one point, but oh well. More satin binding. More satin binding. Fabric dye. Fabric dye stamp type thing. Phenomenal for my labels. My current one isn't, like, you know, dried out by any means, but it's good to have a backup. More satin binding. And yeah, the gems of this haul were really the cone, the straps, where did it go? Where did it go? You have to make this motion while you're looking for it, otherwise your brain will forget. Ah, yes. These shuttles, and things are falling all over the place. The shuttles were an amazing find for this, along with just, these are so expensive. These are so expensive, and I guarantee you I got these for less than $5 each, and they're so expensive. and I got so many of them, all in one place. I'm just, Penelope, honey, you are not dying. I'm not letting you into the bathroom so you can lick the water off the bottom of the shower. You will be fine. You have a full, fresh water bowl and a water plate because you suck at drinking water out of the water bowl. Lord save me from Maine Coon mixes. I don't know why. It's like, oh, get a Maine Coon mix. They're so lovely. They're so sweet. They're so snuggly. Yeah. It's like having a bunch of bratty toddlers for the rest of their natural life, and they live to 15, 20 years. Don't get a Maine Coon mix unless you're willing to have a toddler permanently attached to your hip, whining and screaming at you, and not being able to grow and be reasoned with like a toddler usually is. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Calicos especially. Oh my god. But yeah, just incredible haul, incredible people. I'm going to be linking their contact information down below, their website down below. I'm sorry in advance for the state of your wallets. If any partners kvetch point out like, here's how much I bought this stuff for, and how much it retails for new, I'm saving us money. Because I've had to explain to my partners several times that no, buying craft supplies and using craft supplies are two separate hobbies. It's like, oh, I bought all this craft supplies. Cool. What do you make? I make possibilities. I enjoy possibilities. But just such incredible people. We are absolutely going to be working with them quite a bit moving forward. Like fully planning is like, hey, like giving them a call, or like an email and be like, hey, when would be a good time to arrange like a caravan of folks from a little bit further south to come work with you, do sorting, and because like if you volunteer there, you get to shop for free essentially, like with the stuff that you're organizing, and it's just going to be an incredible resource, and is an incredible resource. And we've got the volunteers, and they've got stuff that's been donated to them. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to this. Collaboration that's coming up. But just, there's so much and it's so pretty, and I'm so excited. And eventually this afternoon I'm going to crater and I'm going to crash, but it's there, it's pretty, and I now need to spend the rest of my afternoon balling yarn because I ball hard. Today's Friday. Yes, today is Friday. So I'm going to be an incredibly cool, incredibly hip with the times, party animal, and I'm going to have a ball. My little brother gets so mad when I say things like that. He's 15, and he's just, oh my gosh, you are so cringe, you are so this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, dude, I spent so much of my life making my joy small. I'm not doing that anymore. Please feel free to join me in causing absolute positive chaos. But also, it's my job to embarrass him because I'm his older sibling. So, yeah. I've started to do an outro several times, so I'm just going to turn off the camera and have a fun time balling with the yarn. But yeah, this was my unbagging video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new here, I make a cozy weaving video every Tuesday, typically, where people can rest and like parallel rest and help prevent burnout. Hopefully, I'm not a hypocrite. I use my own videos for that. Out of that bag, thank you. And then usually on Fridays, I produce a bag, a like project video as well. I'm going to be starting doing membership things as well. So if you want to see the videos early, that's a good way to access that. And also I got selected by YouTube for a boot camp for vertical streaming. So I'm excited about that because I'd love to do live streams once I've got like, the tech sorted. I am not a technologist. I date a technologist, not a technologist. And also at some point, I'm going to be doing a video where she's the one talking and she's explaining her thoughts and her process for the computer setup that she's going to make and get me, or get and make me, because the amount of panic attacks and lack of self-worth, and for like, she essentially like carefully convinced me over a year or so, or over like a year and a half or so, to be like, hey, please let me get you a decent computer. Your dying Chromebook makes her technologist self sad. So I have finally succumbed, and she will get me a computer, an actually nice one, and I am excited about the keyboard. She is going to make me a keyboard, which I am very excited for. I'm incredibly lucky bloke to have the partners that I have. And yeah, bye everybody.